Schools have always had to write a 3-year management plan. But in preparation for the school plan for 2015 and 2017, the Department of Education wanted us to take a whole new strategic approach to writing this document. And they wanted the approach to reflect the partnership that schools need to have with their parent community. Schools have always been central to a community, and perhaps over a number of years as suburbs grew, society changed, schools then became more isolated than the government wanted. So what they've tried to do probably for the last 5 years is to really emphasize the importance of the partnership between parents, students and schools, so that teachers, principals, parents on P&C, parents in the general community, everyone is working towards ensuring that students are getting the best education possible. And that connection is so important for making sure that your school functions at the level that it does. So for the 2015 and 2017 school plan, all schools were asked to create 3 strategic directions. Our strategic directions for that plan were, and I'll read them to make sure: quality teaching and learning, capacity building, and whole school wellbeing. Initially, the staff and I came up with those 3 strategic directions, but then I took that to the P&C and of course our school council. Boronia Park's very lucky to have a very involved school council, and they are conduits for parent opinions and for a way that parents can reach the planning of the school. When we were planning this before 2015, the school council decided that that wasn't enough, and certainly the department felt that that wasn't enough either in the messages that they gave to their schools. But we had some very large planning meetings, and the school council with the P&C organised for parents to be able to have sessions where they could put across their vision for the school for their children. And one particular session was very, very valuable. It was a large brainstorming session. We had a number of members of the community, and they were given the opportunity to say, well, this is how I see the school for the future. This is what I want for the school for the future. And all of that information, plus survey information that was collated, was able to be then put together and presented to a planning committee that finally sat down and wrote the document. Certainly the school led the way in putting the initial words on the page, but I don't think we could have refined the document or made it as relevant without the input of the parent community and the representatives that were representing that parent community. So what do we want from our school plan? We want it to be a working document. Now, how we check that school plan is every 5 weeks we have a look at all of the indicators underneath those 3 strategic directions. We look at the jobs and not the jobs. We look at the projects that the school is working on, the teaching and learning programs that are happening, the social development programs. We look at all of those programs and we make sure that they are staying in line with that strategic plan or our school plan. There's also a secondary document called the Milestone Monitoring Document, and every 5 weeks the staff, mainly the executive staff, go in and we tick off how we're going on our plan. And then if we need to change it, because the document is organic, we make those changes. And certainly as we're midway through this school plan, that's what we're looking at this year, is what changes do we need to make. For our next school plan, which we will start working on next year, the department has sent some very, very definite guidelines about what those 3 strategic directions have to be around, and they're going to be around teaching, learning and leadership. So when we look at our next lot of strategic directions, they will incorporate that theme. Okay, stop.
So what do you want the school community to do?
Okay.
Next, what's coming up next that we want them to be engaged with based on that?
Yep. So over the next 18 months, we will be needing to ask the community to again give us their thoughts and their ideas about how we as a school are going to teach the children well, how we're all going to learn, how we're going to build capacity and how we're going to lead. So I'll be looking to the school community. We will have some more focus groups, obviously more surveys, and I'd love to have another one of those huge planning meetings where everybody can just write down the craziest thoughts that come into their heads, but also what they really believe is the essence of school for their children for the next 3 years. So we'll be relying on our community to give us that input, and we value very much what the community can offer us so that we can continue to work in partnership to make Boronia Park Public School an excellent school and a place of quality learning for the students that attend.